G'day folks, here's my July collection update. G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. This is my July collection update, which is a little sizable, you could say. I'm going to try and do this slightly more rapidly than usual, but it'll probably still drag out a while. As usual, I'll leave links to the bands and the various places where I got these from in the description below, so check that out, and feel free to leave your own comments as well. So, alright, first up we have a pretty special one. This is Darkthrone with A Blaze in the Northern Sky. You may have heard of these guys before. This is a special 30th anniversary version. I've got my mate Josh to thank for this one. Originally, he and another mate Ben and I were all pretty keen on getting this, even though it was kind of ridiculously expensive. We missed the initial order, but then thankfully Peaceville reissued it, or not reissued, but put out just a batch of them they got back from promos, or I don't know, supposedly unnumbered and so on. This was limited to 666 copies, of course. But yeah, this one came, signed by Nocturno Culto and Fenris, and numbered. So, and amusingly, we obviously all ordered pretty much exactly the same time, because our numbers, as I'll put a picture up, were 209, 210 and 211. So it's pretty amusing. So yeah, I don't know why, I'm not sure why I bought this, but it's a legendary black metal album. I'm not even going to really talk about the album because A, it's on my Peaceville video, and B, it's Darkthrone. But yeah, so this came on limited clear vinyl. Oh, I might as well show it. I think it's fancy. Ooh, slightly smoky looking. This is a handmade cover. So yeah, it's kind of stylish. It's the old sort of, I don't know, monstery kind of design that they had on their t-shirts back then. On the inside you get old mate, I think that's Zephyrus, or whatever his name is, looking cool. And you do also get like a slightly different, I don't think I've seen that picture before, maybe. You get, lyrics, so on. Bloke's looking tough. So, as I said, I already own this, but I was suckered partly by the limited amount and the fact it was signed by him, even though I'm not usually that into signed stuff. But also for the fact that the ink is custom-made silver ink with the addition of powdered goat horns. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. But hey, that sold me. So this wasn't cheap. It was, like over $100 Australian. But already, looking on Discogs, which is not always the best guide, there's versions on there for like $1,000, and they're all, it's brand new. It's not like there's a more limited version of it or anything like that. Most of them seem a bit cheaper, but it's still like, $500-600 ridiculous amount. So, yeah. As I said, I haven't even listened to the record because I think I've got exactly the same. I think it's the same as a 20-year version, like remastered one or whatever. So I've already got that record, so probably won't even listen to this. But hey, it looks cool, and it's got powdered goat horns. Now, I'm an immature man, but what the hell, gotta have fun somehow. Also from Peaceville is the latest Static Abyss album, Aborted from Reality. Ooh, that spiffy cover art. This is Chris and Greg from Autopsy, doing very Autopsy-sounding stuff, but much slower. This is really quite good, this album. Big fan of theirs. Obviously it's going to sound like Autopsy with Chris singing and drumming, but it still has its own sort of style to it, and slightly more so on this than the first album. There's a bit more, it even goes into like Funeral Doom sort of speed on the song The Static Abyss. I think Unrepentant Mutant Serpent sounds a bit like Necrophagia, sort of, with the Phil Anselmo era sort of style riffing, which is kind of cool. But I really like the lead sort of work on this. It's sort of that, not quite like esoteric, but similar sort of style of just all over the top of, there's a lot of leads on here over the top of all their nasty sludgy riffs, and sounds bloody killer and kind of eerie. I like it. So yeah, killer bloody album and spiffy ass artwork. Up next is one I got from their Bandcamp. This is Innumerable Forms with The Fall Down. This is a new tape of theirs. It's got like 3 songs. I think they're offcuts from their Philosophical Collapse album, which did pretty well on my top albums of 2022. So highly recommend this band. Yeah, they've got a great use of sorely underutilized slow double bass. Too many bands go hell for leather really fast. I think slow sounds a bit sinister. I really enjoy bands that use that. So yeah, this is nice, kind of bright coloured tape. Nothing too exciting inside. The third song on here is kind of interesting. It's a cover of a song called Satori Part 3. It's a cover of a old Japanese sort of psych kind of rock band from the late 60s, early 70s called the Flower Travelling Band, sorry. I put up their album covers. They're kind of special looking chaps. And yeah, I hadn't actually heard them, so I checked it out on YouTube, and it sounds pretty bloody heavy in parts. Innumerable Forms only do the start sort of doomy kind of riff that already does sound pretty bloody doomy. It's kind of a shame they don't do the whole song, because later on it gets into sort of, weird jam sort of session kind of style that kind of would have been interesting to hear from a Death Doom band. But yeah, it's a nice little 3-track taster that I just couldn't resist, even though it's on crappy bloody tape. But yeah, I may have the downloads as well and have listened to it a lot, so yeah, one day I'll listen to this proper version. Up next are a batch I got from good old Brad from Radical Blast. Thanks, mate. First up, we have French Gorgrind legends Gronabard with their Regard le Homo Sus, or whatever the hell that means in French. I don't think how many people are just offended with that. Yeah, these guys are very catchy Gorgrind with some punky elements and quite a hefty sense of humour. Sadly, most of the lyrics are in French, so I've no idea what the actual jokes are, but some of the titles are in English, and it's fairly obvious these guys are having some fun. There's Finger in Anus, Unholy Horses of Evil, Individual Thought Pate, I like that one, and they've obviously got quite the sperm fixation. There's Sperm Smoker, Sperm Holocaust, and To Ride, Shoot Sperm, and Drink the Juice. Charming guys. Probably shouldn't show this, but yeah, panels are a bit rude. Yeah, anyway, let's move on from that. Yeah, this is bloody excellent. It's reasonably well recorded gore grind, so it's not just like gore noise sort of stuff. They've got two vocalists, one of whom does sort of, kind of comically high-pitched, squealy kind of vocals, but they've also got a pitch shifter going on, and it's actually really varied sort of quality music. They can obviously play despite their silly attitude to everything. I still kind of prefer the first album, the self-titled first album. It's just a bit catchier, but this is a bloody good return to form. I think these guys I don't know if they'd split up or just weren't doing anything for quite a while. It's been a while between drinks though. I love it. I've got footage somewhere. I think it was on like a Obscene Extreme DVD maybe, of them live, and yeah, like I think several of them just like start naked, and I think the other singer just like slowly rips his clothes over time, and they're silly boys having a grand old time. But yeah, it's really good fun gore grind though. Also from Radical Blast was the Prototype 7-inch. This is a compilation that came out on Clean Plate Records, a Alabama label. This is back in 1996. Stylish background. Yeah, this I've only bought this really because it has Ulcer and Apartment 213 on it, and yeah, I wisely chose because they're really good bands on here. The other bands are Default, which is okay, sort of screamy stuff. I mean, this is like a song of each band, although it looks like Ulcer gets a couple of songs. Unsettled, I've got written down as crappy sounding punk. Pretty shit. Laceration is punk with snotty vocals, pretty shit. Disdain, I've got boring metalish punk. And then we get to the good bands, Ulcer, who actually sound pretty bloody awful on this. I would highly recommend checking out other Ulcer stuff. I'll put a picture up of their record because that was bloody killer. But yeah, the stuff on this, all you can really hear is just vocals and bass and drums. The Apartment 213 stuff on here, which is one song, Endless Killings, pretty bloody killer though. Still an average sort of sound, but it's a great song. I highly recommend checking out Apartment 213. They're just nasty quality power violence. Anything else this is good, so I don't recommend paying this. I'm glad I didn't pay very much because it's a second-hand one, but yeah, it comes with like the usual, big collage full of crap, and also this nice, yes, stay out of our country. So yeah, not the greatest 7-inch, but yeah, what the hell, it's like $6 or something, so worth it just for also an apartment 2 on 3. Also from Radical Blarish, because several releases from Grav. This is there, oh, that looks terrible. Demo Tape 1 and Demo CD 2. The tape itself is, yeah, there's a slight theme to this band. I'm a Grave is the first song, and then Into the Grave of Grave, brackets, 99% Grave cover. Oh, yeah, there's a definite Grave theme going on there, I think. Blurry as hell, sorry. Yeah, the sound on this is pretty bloody average. Yeah, as I said in my previous review, this is Naru from Butcher ABSC and CSSO, and Rio from Final Exit, and a couple of other blokes doing very much Grave sounding songs. Unsurprisingly, yes. The demo CD sounds a hell of a lot better. This is just very heavy, thick death metal. I love it. Sort of Grave, sort of Anatomia, blah blah, whatever, demo, and also a bit of Bolt Thrower as well thrown in. Track 3 I think is listed as like a Black Sabbath cover, but it's kind of just droney sort of stuff. Only really super exciting song on here is Slowly We Are Rotting, the Stench version. That song was bloody killer, so yeah, still definitely worth getting, I think, but yeah, they've got a lot of releases. These guys, they're busy chaps. I think they must just record every rehearsal they do or something or other, but yeah, looking forward to a proper album of these guys at some stage. Also from Radical Blast is the Gruesome Stuff Relish and Tucane split. There's two Spanish gore grind bands, pretty bloody killer stuff. I'm a big fan of Gruesome Stuff Relish. Tucane, not quite as much. Tucane have got like pretty damn deep vocals, but occasional impetigo sort of screams. The Gruesome Stuff Relish is just patented, gory, groovy style. Yeah, it's pretty bloody short. There's like 2 songs from Tucane and 3 from Gruesome, but yeah, it's short but sweet. And I love the horror movie sort of layout that it has. I don't know if it's gonna look too good, but just kind of stylish. And as I said in my Roadrunner review, I do quite enjoy nasty vocals in foreign languages, and the Spanish sort of Tucane vocals sound pretty scary. I like it. And finally from Radical Blast, because it's his own band, Blorgstrad. You might be rather minimal cover because he forgot to send it, so he'll send it with the next order, I'm sure. Yeah, this is just crazy noisecore from just Brad himself. Yeah, some nice acoustic pieces on this that sound kind of ridiculous as well, and some bits sound sort of vaguely familiar, and there's like I do recognise the AC I'm Still Standing kind of cover, I suppose. I think I've seen him do this live. He does this by himself, so it's him playing drums sort of with one hand, playing bass with another hand, and he's got like I think it's a cricket helmet on with a microphone just like gaffed on or whatever. I'll post some pictures, but it's a sight to see and behold. But it works very well live, surprisingly. Yeah, special kind of stuff. Up next are a batch I got from Brilliant Emperor Records in Sydney. First up we have Snorlax with the Necrotrophic Abyss. This is their 3rd album, I think. This is like a one-man band from Brendan Old from Descent and Feculent and Siberian Hell Sounds and Resin Tomb. Gets around, obviously. Yeah, this is kind of Black Death sort of style. It has a slight sort of dissonant feel to it. It's bloody nice and intense churning sort of stuff. Yeah, there are some guests on here as well. That's called for some reason. Has various different vocalists on them, so, and a different drummer as well in parts. I think the title track, the Necrotrophic Abyss, is a bit more straightforward sort of black metal. It's probably my preferred one, I think. But overall, nicely violent vocals, I think. They easily go from snarls to growls, and yeah, it works very well. I look forward to listening to this a lot more. I think I've missed all their previous albums. They were somewhat limited in release, so hoping they get a repress one day. But yeah, Snorlax. Also from Brilliant Emperor is a much delayed Resin Tomb Unconsecrated Ascendancy EP. This is spiffy as. I ordered this in like August 2022, I think. It was due to come out in October 2022, and I got it like a month ago. I think they had big problems with this spiffy cover, and it's die cut. The very nice Hieronymus Bosch detail there. So yeah, these guys are they self-described as dissonant death grind. I think they've got a bit of black metal feel to them as well. But still pretty apt description, I've got to say. Yeah, this is basically just fast as hell and very angry sounding, which is quite fine by me. Yeah, it's a bit more focus in the first EP, which I really kind of wish I bought because I missed that one. I think it was like a 10-inch or something or other. And they actually have a new album coming out shortly on Transcending Obscurity Records. I'll put the cover art up because it looks pretty bloody impressive. Bloody hell. This is nice, rather green cover. But yeah, it's 2 tracks. It was worth the wait, I think. It's yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing these guys live. It'd be pretty bloody intense, I reckon. So yeah, if you like your dissonant death grind, get into it. And also, thanks to Brilliant Emperor for throwing in a freebie. This is Sumiru with their Summon Destroyer album from, I don't know, a couple of years ago at least. This is a sludgy, stoner, doomy kind of band from Sydney. Sounds quite a bit like Mastodon in their very early, quite heavy days. But yeah, it's bloody killer stuff. I somehow kind of missed this band. I have seen them live maybe a couple of times. I don't know why I didn't buy this back when it first came out, but anyway. It's even got some classy, I think Embrace the Cold has a nice sort of acoustic flamenco sort of style guitars. But yeah, killer bloody sound on this, heaps of bottom end. I really quite enjoy it. And spiffy cover art by old mate. Sorry, glaring all over your Polo Garati. Nice artwork. So yeah, these guys now have old Canberra son Jake on vocals from I Exist. So this is with the old singer, I think, who sounded pretty good as well. So yeah, hoping they're still going. I did see him not that long ago at, what was that, Bradfest or whatever it was called. Oh, Brucefest, sorry. So yeah, good band. Up next are a couple I got from Overuse Records in Tassie. First up we have Ifernak with Live in Gespeg. This is from a live gig from 2022, this Canadian or Quebecian black metal band. This is mostly songs off their Capitulation of All Life album. Yeah, the main guy, Finian, who usually does all the instruments, he just sings on this and has session dudes on it. Honestly, sounds kind of crap. At least the vocals can be heard. Yeah, the last song listed as NWO, which I was really hoping was going to be a cover of the Ministry song, but unfortunately it's a cover of the Spear of Longingness song, which at least sounds a hell of a lot better than the original, which just sounds like shit. Yeah, it's for die-hard fans only, I'd say. This one is certainly not a vital one, but spiffy cover at least. Also from Overuse is Abigor with Totschlager, a Saint Slayer's songbook. Yeah, this is very long-running and very shiny. Sorry about that. Very long-running Austrian black metal band. Have been around for, I don't know, like early 90s. Somehow I kind of missed this sort of middle to later era of these guys. I don't know, I was a big fan of their earlier sort of work, but I'm not sure if it was Satanized or maybe Fractal Possession. Just didn't quite grab me, so I kind of wandered away. But yeah, of late I've been having a big binge of Abigor, and this album still bloody kicks ass. They really don't change that much over the years. They do, sort of, but overall it's just intricate, detailed, fast as hell black metal. This album has a later Emperor sort of feel to it, or maybe later Emperor has a Abigor feel to it, one of the two. Let's just call it mature black metal, which sounds a bit bad, but it's very well written as usual with these guys. They've always kind of done their own sort of thing. It just sounds great, and I love that they've got those just ridiculous big floor tom sort of drum beats bits. It continues on. So yeah, it's just fast, intricate, detailed, nasty stuff. I'm always curious why Silenius, the singer, is still listed as a session member of this band. I mean, he was original member of the band, left for a couple of albums. He's the main guy, or one of the main guys in Summoning. Yeah, but every album from Lucifer is the session dude. Anyway, so yeah, this is nice. Gatefold spiffiness. Ooh. Even comes with this ridiculous book of all the lyrics. Like nice pictures and fancy stuff. So yeah, I think I'll be tracking down a bit more of these guys. I don't know, it's not a band I listen to all that often, but whenever I do, it's like, shit, why don't I listen to these guys more often? This is killer. So yeah, it's a couple of years old now, so I'm assuming they'll be due another album at some stage, so looking forward to that. Up next are a couple I got from Extremely Rotten Productions in Denmark. First up we have Ripped to Shreds with Demon Scriptures. This is an EP they put out after the first album. This is mostly Andrew himself on all the instruments, except for drums. They've got a session drummer on this who's pretty bloody good, I've got to say, far out. They're now a full band, but so yeah, this is still his baby back then. It's interesting as this sounds, yeah, this is like HM2 death metal sort of style. It sounds so much like Entombed and Dismember in parts, possibly just due to the sound, but there are a lot of bits that are, oh yeah, I know that structure. I know that sort of type of riff. But yeah, but then it'll flit off into bits that don't sound like Entombed or Dismember. So it's not quite like County Medical Examiner sort of level of just rewriting Carcass riffs. The middle two songs on this are fast as hell. I probably prefer the first song, In Mourning. The final song's sort of long and, well, it's sort of slow at first, but it does change up quite a bit and kind of morphs into a really decidedly un-death metal sounding ending, I think. I mean, still played on death metal instruments, but don't sound like death metal to me. So yeah, it's not a vital release of theirs by any means, but it's fun EP. I quite enjoyed it. Also from Extremely Rotten Productions, and one they put out themselves, is the Spectral Voice Undergang split. This brand spanking just came out, so yeah, killer. I love both these bands, so I've been very eager for this one. The Undergang stuff, they're pretty prolific death metal band. This is recorded back in 2020. I noticed these guys seem to be slowly improving their skills and, you know, technicality of their songs, so they're kind of moving from symphonies to necroticism maybe. But yeah, this has got their usual wonderful gurgly vocals and just killer groove as well. Their three songs are possibly the highlight. I do like Spectral Voice a hell of a lot, but their ones are just killer. The Spectral Voice one is just one song that's nearly 14 minutes long. I don't know, for some reason the MP3s that came with this that I had for months before it actually came out, they're really quiet. Or the Spectral Voice song's really quiet for some reason, but it sounds a lot better on this. But yeah, it's just heavy as hell death doom. Their stuff was recorded in 2021, so I'm hoping they'll be doing another album at some point, because that last album was friggin' killer. But yeah, it's heavy as hell death doom with nice sort of screaming vocals at times. It's good and rumbling with a bit of, you know, your evil tremolo sort of style as well. Yeah, killer stuff. Fan of both of these bands, so yeah, well, glad I finally got this one. Up next is a second-hand one I got from Landspeed Records in Canberra. This is Asunder with Works Will Come Undone. This is like a California funeral doom sort of band from Dino from Dystopia and John from Weakling. Yeah, this is two songs. The CD version of this has two songs. One's 22 minutes, the other's 50 minutes. This one, they've cut down the 50-minute one. I was going to whinge about Creation Records chopping albums or editing bits and pieces, which they did to Godflesh album, but it actually works really well here. The sort of half an hour that they cut out of the second song is mostly ambient sort of stuff that, yeah, didn't really add a huge amount to tell the truth. Yeah, the second song has a slightly tribal neurosis-y kind of feel to it, which works really well, and some added misery from a cello. For some reason there's like a couple of lead bits that just sound kind of shit, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't re-record them. I don't know if they stuffed up or that was the best take or what, but oh well. First song slightly reminds me of like really old Anathema, but it might just be the vocal sort of style. I definitely prefer this to their earlier album, A Clarion Call. So yeah, glad I picked this one up. Next are a couple of 7-inches I got from Simon from Explosive Action. Thanks, mate. These are Septige with Septic Decadence and Septisk Eradication. Yeah, this is Danish gore grind. Nice punchy sort of production they've got. I really quite like this. This is from like 2020 and 2021, I think. Just suitable gross sounding pitch shifted vocals. Each ends with a kind of like a slower kind of song that gives them a bit of variety to them. That they're still gory as hell, but they do actually have, it's a bit more varied than the usual gore grind. I think he sold these mostly because they just released a CD with them, and they're split with Hyperdontia as well. Love that. Classy. But yeah, it's killer gore grind stuff. For some reason doesn't have David from Undergang in it, amazingly, for a Danish band. And yeah, just excellent stuff. I'm going to have to try and track down that Hyperdontia split now as well. Up next we have a whole batch of stuff from Aussie band Parasitic Equilibrium. I got these from various sources. I've got their what is it, Ethereal Mank album, their Life Borer CD, their something in Chinese, not sure what that one is, and they're split with Malat, which is, guessing that and that, which is crappy tape. Yeah, I really quite enjoy this band, and they seem to put out a hell of a lot of stuff. So we'll start with Life Borer. This is their earlier sort of work. I mean, they've always been very busy the last about 3 or 4 years because they've put out a heap of stuff. I think this is also has their Life Borer EP, and it also has their 2020 demo on it as well. Yeah, just intense weaving. Yeah, these guys are Black Death sort of style, but with a whole lot of other influences going on as well. Really quite intricate sort of stuff, ever changing and twisting sort of stuff. I really quite enjoy it. Yeah, it's just a seamless sort of blend of styles, which is kind of rare to find. Usually it's sort of a bit clunky, but it worked well for these guys. So yeah, the Life Borer one's pretty good on this. The EP, or the demo tacked on this is not the best sound. It's a bit raw, but it's got guests from Neil from Undernism and Bucky from Bean Flipper, and so yeah, that goes alright. This one I've only listened to once or twice so far, and obviously not on tape because my tape player still doesn't work. Yeah, this is from late 2021 through to 2022, so it's possibly the most recent stuff. And it has, this album was inspired by pure hatred, let pain and misery inflict all that oppose us. So, yeah, serious lads. But yeah, it's getting more and more intense, which is kind of fine by me. And Ethereal Mank is, I think, the most recent released one. This is actually recorded in 2021. It comes with this irritatingly not a proper album cover, but oh well, what the hell. Yeah, I really quite enjoy this one. This is fast as hell, nasty, deep sort of vocals. They've had various lineup changes. I think it's been Rocket all the way through. Rocket from like Bean Flipper and Warp Spasm. I think he now has what's his name? One of the other guys from Bean Flipper, whose name I forget. Webby, that's it. And it's also got Adrian Nowdy from Black Jesus and KP, who used to be in what's that band that I can never bloody remember their name. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, this one has, I really like, what is it? Fanatical Decapitator. It's got like a steamroller riff through it. Not so keen on those like clean vocals on the last song that don't really work all that flash, I gotta say, but I mean, they're not bad, they're just a bit out of place. So yeah, this is really good. And then finally we have the tape, which is split with Malat. Malat is just noise, essentially, like literal noise, just with yelled vocals about various alleged, whoops, missed the page, alleged, I'll say, in big inverted commas, pedophiles from over the years. They're obviously not big fans of theirs, which is fine by me. The other stuff, oh wow, the Parasitic Equilibrium stuff on here's got Bucky on it as well, so hey, there we go. Yeah, I love the speedy drums on this, are bloody killer. So yeah, hell of a lot, and it's a nice little package. You get a nice Malat sticker as well, which Yeah, I don't know what I'll put that one on. Probably not the car. But yeah, all up, 4 kick-ass releases from Parasitic Equilibrium, and then Malat, which I probably won't be listening to again, I'd say, but oh well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to even more output from them. I think they got another lathe 7-inch coming out soonish, so yeah, good work. Up next are a couple I got from Bad Habit Records. First up we have Axeman with Arise. This is a Black Twilight Circle, as they call themselves. It's like a sort of Mexican-American circle of usually evil black metal sort of stuff from like California, I think. This one is quite a different one actually of theirs. It's a bit, sounds a bit like Amoebics in parts, but that might be just because it's called Axeman. And it speeds up quite a bit, and it's a bit more sort of like kind of like cross-punk playing thrash, but also with a bit of Black Death. It's sort of all over the place, which kind of works well. The first song's very galloping, you could say. It's called Metnol. It's got a quite nice solo over the top of it for like half the bloody song. It works really quite well. The later songs are slightly more straightforward Black Death sort of style. But yeah, I've actually had this on tape for bloody ages. I was thinking maybe I should do a video of all my stupid Black Twilight Circle tapes. But yeah, this is done by their main head honcho, Eduardo Ramirez, who's also in like Volan and Blue Hummingbird on the left, and about a squillion other bands. Pretty much the majority of the bands that are on Black Twilight. So yeah, this is released on Darkest Heavy. So yeah, I was happy to pick this one up because I had missed it when it was on record originally. So yeah, good second-hand one. Sounds fine. It's got a nice evil candles. Still don't find candles evil. Just have like a proper flaming torch or something. Not friggin' candles. And not those stupid tiki torches either, bloody Emperor. What are you doing? Looks silly. Anyway, yeah, I quite enjoyed this. It's yeah, it's only 3 songs. They've got like, I think a couple of tracks on like the other Black Twilight compilations, but they seem to be kind of variations on this, or yeah, not a great deal of output. So I'm hoping one day we'll get a bit more. And I love that cover art. It's bloody looks awesome. So yeah, Axeman. Oh, sorry, Axeman, not men. Also from Bad Habit is this split with Abigor and Syphilitic Vaginas. What a charming band name. And you probably shouldn't look too carefully at that album cover as well. Anyway, these are 2 sort of, black speed metal punky kind of bands. Abigor is, of course, the most evil band in Japan. This is from like 2009, although their stuff's from 2008 and 2006. So it's sort of, I don't know, sweet baby metal slut sort of era. Yeah, the first 2 songs that are originals is High School Metal Bitch and Alcoholic Highway Star. Sadly, this doesn't have lyrics, which is a shame because it's one of the highlights of Abigor usually. The last 2 songs for them are Possessed, a Bathory cover, and Guts of Christ by Nunslaughter. Which, yeah, I mean, overall sounds pretty good. The originals are more interesting, of course. And Yasuyuki's vocals are probably the highlight. They just sound bizarre and crazed. Sounds bloody awesome. The Syphilitic Vagina stuff is I think it's a one-man band, or was a one-man band from Sweden, trying to sound very much like Abigor, probably. It's a guy from like Ulceria and Netyayev Society Sister, whatever they're called. So yeah, this is better production and gruffer vocals than Abigor, so probably slowly beats them, unfortunately. But yeah, this came out on Rescued from Life, so yeah, nice to pick this one up. A bit more Abigor is always worthwhile, so yeah, excellent little split. Up next is one I got direct from the band, so from Avalanche Recordings. This is Godflash with Nero. This is like a 12-inch sort of single from the Purge album. It's actually supposedly came out beforehand, but they had delays in the record pressing, so I actually got the record or the proper album before I got this one. So this is like 4 versions of the song Nero. Slight bit of overkill maybe, but yeah, what the hell. So it has the original version, which is probably not my favourite song on the album, to tell the truth, but still a bloody good one. But the second one is it's a remix one. It has some extra keys to it, make it a bit sort of spookier. The third one really doesn't vary that much. It's an alternate mix or something or other. I think it's got slightly different beats. Yeah, it's not too bad. The fourth one, the dub version, is probably my favourite on here. It's like twice as long, so it's like 8+ minutes sort of long. It's as usual. It's quite sort of deconstructed. I mean, this is obviously all redone by Justin himself, probably. So yeah, it's just sort of a bit longer and cruisier and drawn out, and yeah, I quite like his sort of deconstructed sort of style on some of their songs. It can be quite an interesting way of doing it. So yeah, not the most exciting EP of all time, I've got to say, but yeah, I'm still glad I ordered this one. Yeah, the main album, if you're wanting to hear some new Godflesh, I'd recommend just getting the album, to tell the truth, but yeah, it's still pretty bloody good. Up next are a batch I got from Dark Descent Records in America. First up we have Uncanny with Splenium for Nyctophobia, whatever the hell that means. It's not the catchiest album title, but hey, what the hell. This is Swedish death metal. This is originally released on Greek label Unisound Records. Also recorded at Unisound Studios with Dan Swano, which I don't think are related somehow. Yeah, this is the Crypt reissue, which for once doesn't actually have any bonus tracks or, you know, extensive liner notes or anything. It's just a straight reissue, but fine by me. For some reason I missed these guys back in the day. Possibly because it was on a small Greek label, possibly, but yeah, this is like members or ex-members of Catatonia and October Tide, so it's like Fred Norman, his band essentially, and yeah, it's bloody killer Swedish death metal. It's got slight sort of touches of October Tide melodies in, I think it's, what is it, Timeless. Some weird songs on here. There's like a cover of G-Anx, or however you pronounce that, a Swedish sort of crust band, which is pretty damn grindy. There's also Lepra, which is like this weird kind of industrial-y sort of style, but it sort of works reasonably well, actually. The last song is just like an outro. It sounds like someone who just got a Casio and spent a bit too much time with it. So, but yeah, all the rest of it, damn fine Swedish death metal. Just straight balls to the wall, nothing too different or weird or anything about it. So yeah, fine by me. Kind of a shame I didn't get they did like a box set kind of reissue as well of this album and like demos and stuff as well. It's a bit of a shame I didn't get that one because the demo's pretty damn boss as well. But yeah, all in all, very happy to finally get around to getting these guys because yeah, it's some excellent Swedish death metal. Also from Dark Descent, I picked up this 7-inch just for the hell of it. This is Vomi Noir's first one. This is a French gore grind sort of band. Yeah, this is their first EP. I think it's their original demo. Yeah, catchy, nasty grind, can't go wrong, pretty gory. Later stuff has better production, of course, but yeah, tunes on this are killer. It's even got a Insect Warfare cover of Human Trafficking, which is one of their better songs and works very well. It's like slightly gored up on this. Nice, artwork and everything. This is all done by main guy Pierre, and spiffy clear smoky vinyl, very nice. So yeah, nice little 7-inch, just one to add to the Vomi Noir collection, fine by me. So thanks Dark Descent. And finally from Dark Descent is one of their own releases. This is a brand spanking release from Thantifaxath. This is Hive Mind Narcosis. So this is their second album, and bloody killer. This is Canadian weird black metal, sort of your dissonant black metal style, kind of like your Blut or Snord or your Deathspell Amiga, but yeah, they do their own thing, and it's pretty bloody impressive, I've got to say. First song, Solar Witch, it's got that ascending sort of lead craziness. It's odd. It's odd and makes it very eerie sounding. I made the mistake of when I got this of listening to it several times while doing some urgent work tasks, and they were pretty urgent and frantic, and yeah, this was not helping, I gotta say. This is uneasy listening is probably the best way to describe this. Just weird. I mean, it's pretty predominantly black metal sort of style, but it's odd. It does have some nice mellow moments on Hungry Ghosts, and highlights probably the hectic final track, The Mind of the Sun, but whole thing's bloody amazing, really. I'm looking forward to digging a little deeper into this one, because it's probably been about 5 listens so far, and it's going pretty bloody good. So this one may well feature on the end of year top albums for 2023. I would not be surprised whatsoever. And fantastic cover art by Goya, I think. So yeah, all in all, very worthy release. I've got some spiffy vinyl version of it that's very fancy looking. Ooh. So yeah, highly recommend this one. It's a killer band. Finally, we get to what's in the bag. Before I get to the main thing, I'll say thanks to FOAD Records for sending this freebie. This is a band called Pig Children. This is a live recording of them from 1986. These guys are like kind of DRI style punk sort of band from California. Had never actually heard of them until this. They didn't seem to do very much. This looks to be like an extra add-on to a box set that FOAD put out for them with their other 2 releases, I think. So yeah, happy to get this one. It sounds pretty bloody killer actually for a live gig. Yeah, it was a bonus for their, what is it, The Torment Continues. Yeah, it's classic sort of thrashcore style, fast as hell. Some of the lead work reminds me a bit of, your Suicidals or Excel, so obviously influenced by their local scene, so yeah, very happy to have this one, thank you. So last but definitely not least, this is the reason why I got that gigantic mailbag that's in the thumbnail. So yeah, this is where the parental warning kicks in here, so you consider yourselves warned. The main reason why I got that is this gigantic anal cunt box set. Holy shit, this thing is huge. It weighs a ton. This was not cheap, I've got to say. So yeah, this is a box set with all their early stuff from 88 to 91. Just love that logo, isn't that just beautiful? So this has got 6 LPs. Let me just, I'll open her up and show you. It's pretty spiffy. So you get it. Oh God, if the box ever comes off with all the charming stuff on the sides. Picture of everyone's hero, good old Seth. Now this is one of 2 versions. This one comes with these pins that I haven't actually taken out of the bag, but I'll put a picture of them up. I'm really regretting that I got this version and not the other one. There's another fancy Die Hard version that comes with cardboard stand-ups of the band members. It's just ridiculous. I'll put a picture of that up as well. It's just hilarious stuff. They're silly billies, you could say. So you get 8 tons of bloody records that I'll eventually freaking get out of here. That's the only problem with these box sets. It's all a bit tight. So lots of records that I'll go through in a sec. This one comes with a gigantic sticker. Put that one on the car or something. And probably the highlight of this really is this huge book that has a squillion friggin' photos and old flyers and write-ups of the releases and everything. It's bloody excellent stuff. A heap of photos. So quite amusing bits in it. Alright, so what do we get? I'm not going to bother opening these all up, but the reason why I got this version with the stupid pins was records that are so gaudy and terrible. It's just perfect for good old AC. So the first one, I'm not going to bother taking the plastic off all of these, but I mean, I have listened to these, and one thing I'll say, don't listen to 6 AC albums in a row in one day. It's a bit much, and you get like 20 versions of like Guy Lombardo and about half their other early songs. So this very first one has the first demo on it, which I think was very unreleased before this. There are multiple versions of like kind of best ofs. The previous old stuff one I had was Old Stuff Part 2, which had the unplugged and live EPs, the Meat Shit split, the Psycho split, and stuff from the Master of Noise. So certainly not everything that's on this box set. There is another version called Old Testament, which is probably the cheaper option if you want to get most of this stuff. That came out on Relapse maybe. That's got a lot of stuff, but it lacks sort of some of the live stuff on here, but it's got most of the 7 inches, and I don't know if it's got this, because this one has like the first demo, the 47 song demo, and I think the 1988 rehearsal on this, which actually sounds better than both the demos, is one of the sort of special parts of this that wasn't on anything else. So yeah, this is all very old AC era. It's all pre-Morbid Florist, so it's all Seth on vocals, Tim on drums. It varies on the guitarist. It's got most of it's with their original guitarist Mike, but I think after a while he left and they split up briefly and then got back together with Fred from Shit Scum on guitar. So it's all of their lineups. Yeah, this first one, I think the first demo was recorded at Seth's mum's attic. Where I think a lot of this stuff was recorded in Seth's mum's attic. And yeah, the first demo is just like total blurcore, even noisier than expected. It's probably the noisiest thing they did. Sounds great. 47 song demo sounds a bit better. Guitar isn't just a hum. And yeah, as I said, the 88 rehearsal is, I mean, a lot of this stuff's got Morbid Florist tracks, even though Morbid Florist was like 93, I think, maybe. So you'll still recognise a lot of these ones. I think the rehearsal from 89's also got, it's got the sort of good versions of Slow Song from the split 7-inch, and very amusing interactions with their mates that are obviously in the same room afterwards. So that's that one. From here on, so you get two 7-inch and compilation track ones, all with charming titles and so on. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but because there's a lot of stuff on here. One of the highlights for me was the 5,643 song EP, which I hadn't actually heard before. That's not on that old stuff one. It's got basically, as it explains in the excellent blurb, they recorded 16 tracks worth of songs all at once. So, they did single tracks each one and then just merged them all together for some ridiculous reason. So it sounds like 16 AC songs at once. It's like 2 hours of material in a 7-inch. It's just, yeah, epically stupid and just beautiful. All you can really make out is just screaming and cymbals and just a noise hum sort of thing. It's just, I really want to own the original now just because it's just that ridiculous. This does have outtakes from that where you can actually kind of make out a few bits here and there. So it's that one. This one's got another EP which is just even more over the top than usual. It looks to be the final gig with Mike, I think. This does have 6 unreleased songs from that actually have titles as well. It's disgraceful. This era of AC didn't have their offensive song titles. At most they had, new song or song number 5 or something or other. But this one actually had 6 songs from 91 that it looks like they only sort of half recorded them. Seth came back and did vocals on them in 2011 and it's terrible, really. Probably should have just left them as instrumentals, I think. But yeah, anyway. You also get the unplugged one, which I love. This one is I'll show you that because that does actually. It's only one-sided, and I'll give you a taste of how ridiculous the vinyl looks. You can have AC vinyl one, or have the most ridiculous splattery one. So yeah, that's a you can't play that side obviously. And yeah, the unplugged one is just ridiculous. It was always a highlight for me from the Old Stuff Part 2 CD because it is unplugged. It's one of them, I think, is a gig, a proper gig. Oh, maybe it's a rehearsal day. Get in there, you bastard. One's a amusing rehearsal or something or other, and the other one's an actual gig where they showed up to some guy's house and just sat around with, I'm assuming, not much of a drum kit, an acoustic guitar, and Seth just screaming into the air with no microphone at all. And as you would imagine, AC Unplugged sounds even more ridiculous than usual, so big fan of that. So yeah, that's Unplugged. I don't actually own much of this real early stuff on record or anything because it's pretty friggin' rare. I'm spewing I didn't pick it up back in the day. The last 2 ones are like live recordings. You get, I don't know, various gigs in 1991, an unknown gig in 88. They all sound pretty bloody similar, really. It's surprising, reasonable quality. And the last one is, I think it's all German dates, because they did there's like a 1991 one that I'm wondering if that's mislabeled or should be 1990, but who knows. Yeah, as I said, they have a similar set list. You get to know the the amusing banter that he does on stage. So, but yeah, if you're a diehard AC fan, get into it. The book is just hilarious. Has this beautiful story about the song Boy George, which is I think the Seth's just yelling out Boy George, or I don't know, it's ridiculous as usual. And yeah, there's an amusing story in here how he went to a Boy George concert back when Boy George was, I think he was doing solo stuff. It wasn't Culture Club and not really the biggest gig apparently. And it said something about he was the only one there other than his girlfriend that was straight. It was quite the gay hangout. So after, I think he yelled at Boy George quite a bit, just yelling Boy George and scaring the shit out of him. And then I think it mentions going upstairs and shagging his girlfriend while they're playing. So charming stuff. One of the highlights in this for me is like ridiculous Branscombe Richmond fan club, which is one of their later songs, and also Mr. T fan club and the Village People fan club. So that's a special guy, but it's got liner notes from his mum as well, because obviously they were pretty close and he seemed to rehearse a lot back in those early days. And it has band member, ex-band member interviews, or write-ups as well, which are really good though. They obviously had a great fun time back then. A lot of them sort of whinge about the later years when it was just going through the motions. So this is a good sort of early era, good old anal cunt, Clark, charming band. So yeah, if you like your crazy noisecore and you have money to burn because this wasn't cheap, yeah, FOAD. I think Hell's Headbanger have them for sale as well if you're in America. But yeah, that's the reason for that gigantic sack. It was just that box set and that tiny CD. So there's a whole lot of empty space in there, but it was very well packed, and I got to say it came perfectly. So thanks FOD. You guys know how to pack your stuff. So yeah, all hail Seth. So thanks to all the suppliers of yet another massive update for me. My wallet does not enjoy these videos. Just if you're wondering what this shirt is, this is let's see if I can get a proper version of it. This is a brand spanking Rawhead shirt that just came in the mail this morning, so thanks, Lucky. It's a very spiffy shirt. I'll put the back up on as well because, it looks bloody nice. So, yeah, anyway, thanks again for watching. Not sure what the next video will be, but, I'll be back soon. Cheers.